Have you ever walked into a room, given someone you care about a hug, and suddenly noticed an odor you just couldn't ignore? Maybe it was your father, your grandfather, or even you yourself. And you thought, wait, he just had a shower, so why does he still smell this way? It can be confusing, embarrassing, even heartbreaking. Because here's the truth nobody really talks about: sometimes older men carry a smell that lingers, no matter how much soap, cologne, or deodorant is used. And you might wonder, is it just age catching up, or is there something else going on? Now, before you jump to conclusions, let me reassure you, it's not about being dirty. It's not about laziness. It's not even about poor hygiene the way most people think. The truth is, there are very specific, very common bathroom habits that slowly add up over time. Habits that most men don't even realize are making them smell bad. Habits that chip away at confidence, dignity, and self-respect, without them ever knowing why. And let's be honest, you know how important dignity is, especially as you grow older. Nobody wants to be remembered for an unpleasant smell. Nobody wants people to step back when they walk into a room. This isn't about embarrassment, it's about living your later years with confidence, comfort, and pride. That's exactly why this video matters. Because by understanding the real reasons behind this problem, you'll not only protect your health, you'll protect your self-respect. And if you're watching for a father, a grandfather, or someone you love, then you'll know how to help them keep their dignity intact. So today, we're going to uncover the 5 bathroom habits that often make older men smell bad. And trust me, some of these may surprise you. Especially the last one. It's the most overlooked, but it just might make the biggest difference of all. Now before we dive in, I want to hear from you. If you're ready to learn how to stay fresh, healthy, and confident in your golden years, drop a comment right now that says, "I'm here." That way, I'll know you're part of this journey with me. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips, because this channel is all about helping you live with health, dignity, and wisdom in your later years. Let's begin with the very first bathroom habit, one that seems so simple, yet quietly causes one of the biggest problems. Imagine this for a moment, a man who always prided himself on being neat and tidy. For most of his life, he took great care of himself, always clean-shaven, always smelling fresh, always well-groomed. But as the years passed, his mobility slowed down. Arthritis made his joints stiff. His back no longer bent the way it used to. Balance became shaky, and suddenly what was once effortless, cleaning himself properly after using the toilet, turned into a struggle. At first, he didn't notice the difference. But over time, a faint odor started to creep in. And no matter how often he showered, it just wouldn't go away. It wasn't about his soap, it wasn't about his laundry detergent, it was about incomplete cleaning after using the toilet. You see, as men grow older, there are physical changes that get in the way of hygiene. Reduced flexibility makes it harder to reach properly. Weakness in the arms or shoulders means they don't clean as thoroughly as before. For some, prostate issues cause urine dribbling, which lingers if not properly wiped away. And when that happens, bacteria begins to build up. That bacteria creates a smell that clings to the skin, to clothing, and even to the space around them. Now here's where many families make a mistake. They assume, oh, he just isn't showering enough, or he's not washing his clothes regularly. But that's not always true. In reality, the problem begins at the toilet, long before the shower ever comes into play. If cleaning is incomplete in that very first step, the smell follows everywhere, no matter how clean the rest of the routine is. So what can be done? The good news is, there are simple, practical solutions that can restore both hygiene and dignity. Moist wipes can be a game changer, gentle, effective, and much easier than dry tissue. Bidets or bidet attachments are another powerful option, giving a much more thorough clean without needing the same flexibility. And for men with mobility challenges, there are assisted toilet seats and hygiene tools designed to make the process easier and less painful. These aren't luxuries, they're small investments that protect dignity, health, and comfort. And when you think about it, that's priceless. But here's the thing, cleaning isn't the only issue. Let's talk about the second bathroom habit, and this one is sneaky, because it doesn't always have to do with your body. It has to do with the space around you. Think about this for a second. You step into a bathroom after someone has just taken a shower. You expect to smell freshness, maybe the clean scent of soap or shampoo. But instead, there's a musty, unpleasant odor lingering in the air. The tiles might be clean, the sink wiped down, but the smell is still there. For many older men, the problem isn't that they aren't bathing, it's that the toilet itself isn't being flushed properly, or worse, it isn't being cleaned regularly. With age, eyesight sometimes dims. Hearing fades. Even memory can slip a little. And so, a weak flush goes unnoticed, or a little residue in the bowl doesn't seem like a big deal. But those small oversights add up, and very quickly. Here's what actually happens. When urine and fecal matter stay behind in a toilet, bacteria begin to multiply almost immediately. Bathrooms are naturally warm and often damp, which creates the perfect breeding ground for these bacteria. That bacteria releases gases, ammonia, sulfur, methane. Substances that don't just stay in the toilet. They float into the air, they cling to towels, to clothing, even to skin and hair. So even if you shower, even if you put on clean clothes, the odor follows you out of the bathroom. And here's the mistake many people make. They think, I'll just spray some air freshener. That'll cover it up. But air fresheners don't eliminate bacteria. They only mask the smell for a short while. Underneath the fragrance, the odor is still there, growing stronger by the day. So what's the solution? It's actually simpler than most people realize. First, make flushing automatic. Today there are affordable toilet attachments that ensure every flush is complete. Second, keep cleaning easy. Use toilet cleaning tabs or simple toilet wands that don't require scrubbing on your knees. Third, focus on ventilation. A small exhaust fan or even opening a bathroom window after use can drastically reduce odor buildup. These little habits create an environment where freshness lasts, where the bathroom doesn't betray you the moment you step out. Because here's the truth, no man wants his personal space to be remembered for a bad smell. But of course, the bathroom itself isn't the only source. Sometimes, the real culprit is even closer to the body. And that brings us to the third bathroom habit, one that almost nobody admits to, but far too many are guilty of. Let's talk about undergarments. I once heard of a man who thought saving laundry was saving time. His reasoning was simple, why bother changing underwear every day if it doesn't look dirty? So he'd wear the same pair for 2, sometimes even 3 days. He believed he was being practical. But soon, no amount of cologne, no amount of showering, and no amount of air freshener could hide the odor that clung to him everywhere he went. Here's the truth most people don't realize, underwear doesn't have to look dirty to be dirty. Throughout the day, even if you don't sweat heavily, your body naturally releases moisture, oils, and tiny amounts of bacteria. And for older men especially, there's an additional challenge. With prostate problems, weak bladder muscles, or even just age-related dribbling, small leaks of urine often soak into underwear without you noticing. Once it's there, bacteria multiply quickly. That bacteria creates a sour, musty odor that no shower can fully erase if you slip right back into the same underwear again. Yet here's the misconception so many men believe, if I didn't sweat, if I didn't work out, if I only sat around the house, then my underwear is still clean. But that's not true. Sweat isn't the only culprit. Bacteria and moisture are present whether you notice them or not. And when underwear is worn more than once, it becomes a sponge, absorbing odor and releasing it every time you move. So what's the solution? It's surprisingly simple, but it requires consistency. Change your underwear every single day, no exceptions. Choose light, breathable fabrics like cotton that allow air to circulate instead of trapping moisture. If laundry feels like a burden, prepare a system that makes it easier. Label sets for each day of the week, or keep a visible reminder near the dresser. That way, the habit becomes automatic, not something you have to overthink. It's not about being fancy, it's about protecting your health, your comfort, and most importantly, your dignity. Because nothing restores confidence quite like knowing you're fresh from the inside out. But here's the thing, even with fresh underwear, many older men still find themselves fighting odor. And that's because the environment around them, the very air in their bathroom, is working against them. Which brings us to the next fourth habit. Picture this. An elderly man showers faithfully every single day. He lathers up, rinses off, steps out of the bathroom feeling clean and refreshed. But a few hours later, the freshness is gone. He notices a musty, heavy smell clinging to his clothes, his hair, even his skin. At first, he blames himself. Maybe I didn't scrub hard enough, maybe I need stronger soap. But the truth is, the odor wasn't coming from him at all. It was coming from the environment, the bathroom itself. You see, bathrooms are one of the dampest, most humid rooms in the house. Every shower, every flush, every splash of water raises moisture levels. And when that moisture has nowhere to escape, it lingers. Over time, mold and bacteria settle in. They grow on damp towels that never fully dry. They hide in the corners of the shower. They cling to rugs, curtains, even walls. And here's the kicker, they release odors that don't just stay in the bathroom. They latch onto whatever you're wearing. They stick to your skin and hair. So even if you shower every single morning, you can still carry the smell of a musty bathroom with you all day. Here's the common misunderstanding. Most people assume if they smell mustiness on an older man, it must be because he didn't bathe well enough. But often, it has nothing to do with poor bathing, it's about air quality. It's about invisible mold spores and stale air working silently in the background. So how do you fix it? Again, it's not complicated, but it requires intention. Start with ventilation. A small exhaust fan that runs during and after a shower can make a world of difference. If that's not possible, open a window or crack the door to let fresh air circulate. Rotate towels often, never let the same damp towel sit for days. Replace bath mats when they stay wet too long. And if the bathroom feels humid, a small dehumidifier can help keep the air dry and clean. These may sound like little things, but together, they transform the bathroom from a musty trap into a fresh, breathable space. And when the air around you is clean, you carry that freshness with you wherever you go. But we're not done yet. There's one last bathroom habit, one that ties all of these together. And it's the most ignored, yet the most powerful change you can make. Let's talk about it. Picture this, an elderly man, proud and independent, doesn't want to be seen as slow or needy. He doesn't want his family waiting on him, worrying about him, or thinking he's taking too long in the bathroom. So, he rushes. He tells himself, I'll be quick, I don't need all that extra time. He finishes in a hurry, believing he's saving everyone's patience, including his own. But what he doesn't see is the cost of that speed. Because in his rush, he skips the little things, the careful cleaning, the drying, the extra check to make sure everything is fresh. And slowly, day by day, those skipped steps turn into lingering bacteria, into hidden dampness, into odors that follow him long after he leaves the bathroom. Here's the reality, as men grow older, the body changes in ways that demand more, not less, time. Bladder leakage becomes more common. The prostate doesn't always cooperate, which means dribbling can happen even after you think you're done. Skin loses some of its elasticity, making it easier for bacteria to cling. All of this requires patience. It requires slowing down. Because unlike in younger years, hygiene can't be rushed. But here's the misconception. Many older men believe that quickness equals efficiency. They think, if I'm fast, I'm still capable. If I take too long, maybe I look weak. But the truth is, speed in the bathroom isn't efficiency at all. It's cutting corners that only create bigger problems later, problems that show up not just in odor, but in confidence, in comfort, even in health. So what's the solution? It's giving yourself permission to slow down. It's creating a structured routine that doesn't feel rushed. It's using dignity-preserving aids, like absorbent pads for dribbling or tools that make cleaning easier, so you can take your time without frustration. And most importantly, it's reminding yourself that your dignity isn't found in speed, it's found in thoroughness, in care, and in knowing you deserve the time it takes to look after yourself properly. Because here's the bottom line, bathroom time isn't just about using the toilet. It's about protecting your health, your dignity, and the way you carry yourself out in the world. And this brings us to the heart of the issue, why these small habits actually mean so much more. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? To see a man who once stood tall, confident, and proud now shrink into himself because of something as simple, and as silent, as odor. You can almost see it in his eyes when he walks into a room, worried people might notice, nervous that whispers are about him. And over time, that quiet fear turns into something bigger. Embarrassment, isolation, even shame. And the sad part is, most of the time, it isn't because he doesn't care. It isn't because he doesn't try. It's because no one ever told him that these little habits, habits that seem so small, carry so much weight. But here's where the story can change. Instead of seeing this issue as a burden, as something that steals away dignity, what if we reframed it? What if we saw it as an opportunity to bring back self-respect, to give back comfort, to make everyday life feel lighter, fresher, and more dignified again? Because the truth is, dignity doesn't come from pretending nothing is wrong. It comes from addressing the problem with care, with compassion, and with understanding. It comes from saying, you deserve to feel fresh. You deserve to feel confident. You deserve to live without fear of judgment. And this is where you come in. Take a moment today, just one small moment, to check in. Look at the bathroom environment. Notice if it's well ventilated, clean, and comfortable. Encourage healthier hygiene routines without judgment. Maybe it's reminding a loved one to take their time. Maybe it's setting out fresh underwear or rotating towels more often. Maybe it's just offering gentle reassurance that slowing down isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And if you're the one listening who struggles with this, I want you to hear me clearly, you are not alone. What you're going through doesn't make you less. It doesn't take away from the man you are. With just a little patience, a few adjustments, and some kindness to yourself, you can change this. Because here's the beautiful part, a little awareness goes such a long way. With patience, care, and understanding, these challenges don't have to define the later years of life. Instead, they can be a reminder of how valuable self-care is, and how deeply respect and dignity matter at every single age. So, don't see this as an ending. See it as a beginning. A chance to reclaim confidence, to restore pride, and to step into every room knowing you carry not only wisdom from your years, but also the freshness and dignity you deserve. Let's take a quick moment to recap everything we've uncovered today. The 5 bathroom habits that quietly strip away freshness and confidence in older men are these: skipping proper cleaning after using the toilet, forgetting or neglecting to flush and clean the toilet regularly, re-wearing underwear instead of changing daily, leaving bathrooms poorly ventilated and damp, and rushing through hygiene routines instead of giving the body the care it truly deserves. Now, these may sound simple, but each one plays a bigger role than most people ever realize. And when you put them together, they explain why so many elderly men struggle with odor, even when they think they're doing everything right. But here's what makes this conversation powerful: awareness creates change. And that's where you come in. Which of these habits do you think is the biggest challenge for older men today? Is it mobility that makes cleaning harder? Is it the lack of proper bathroom ventilation? Or is it something else entirely that you've noticed in your own family or community? Share your thoughts in the comments. I would truly love to hear from you, because your insight might help someone else who is quietly searching for answers. And if this video has given you even one useful idea or reminded you of something important, I invite you to join our community here at Elderly Wisdom Tips. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to give this video a like. It helps us spread this kind of knowledge to families and caregivers who need it most. Together, we can create a space where elderly care isn't just about surviving, but about living with dignity, confidence, and joy. I want to leave you with this thought: staying fresh is not just about hygiene, it's about the quality of life. It's about confidence when you step outside, dignity in the way you carry yourself, and the joy of knowing you are cared for, respected, and valued in every season of life. Thank you so much for watching, for caring, and for being part of this journey. Stay strong, stay wise, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.